All right, it is 8/22/23, so making our way through August, and it is a Tuesday, so that means we have a Shrine of Secrets reset. So 7 days to pick up these perks, and we've got some interesting ones, some good ones, and some interesting ones. So starting off with our killer perks, we've got the Nurse double up here. We've got Stridor and a Nurse's Calling, and then for our Survivor perks, we have Flip Flop and we have Made for This. So we'll kind of tackle Nurse first, and then we'll jump into Survivor perks. So real quickly here, Strider is the easiest one to kind of cross off our list here. So Strider, basically, breathing of survivors in pain is 50% louder, and regular breathing is 25% louder. So it makes breathing of survivors louder. This has been nerfed. It used to be basically a hard counter to Iron Will, which has also been nerfed, and you'd only ever see it on Spirit players. You might still see it on Spirit occasionally. When you're phasing, it makes it easier to hear where people are and be able to get those hits. But again, running something like Sloppy Butcher with some slowdowns and good add-ons, it's probably a better choice over running Strider. There's just so many more perks out in the last, I don't know, 2 years or so since Strider's really been meta, and because of that, eh, there's really no use for it, right? Strider was a one-trick pony for one killer for Nurse. Nobody else really ran it, and now it's kind of one of those much lower tier perks on the Spirit anyway. So what we're going to do is take our little marker here. We're going to cross this out. And right now we're putting in the trash tier. The tough thing with it is that it's a shell of its former self. And because of that, it's really kind of a training wheels perk. And I just don't ever think it's a good idea to run training wheels perks, right? Um, Sometimes add-ons I can get behind. Like with Blight, there's the one that whenever you bounce off something, you see ores around you. That can be very good for fighting sneaky survivors. It also can be very good for kind of orienting yourself when you're new to Blight. That I don't mind so much, but it's also one of two add-on slots. It's not a whole perk slot. So Strider, I really wouldn't consider it. The tough thing is when we talk about these behavior IP, which are these three, not the Ash perk. A lot of times we'll say, oh, maybe you spend your iridescent shards on that chapter and unlock them. With Nurse, you've got three perks, three interesting perks on Nurse, but the main one with just nerfs to other perks, Thana and Strider, is a Nurse's Calling, which we'll get to, and this is the main one you want to consider. And what it does is it unlocks aura reading of survivors who are healing or being healed within 28 meters. This can pair real well with Sloppy Butcher or what's the Scourge Hook? We're drawing a blank right now, but there's basically the Sloppy Butcher Scourge Hook as well. Uh, if you can keep them, there's also hemorrhaged add-ons, right? Anytime you get them hemorrhaged, mangled, that kind of stuff, Wraith has one, then this perk works out great, right? It allows you to see where they're healing, know where two survivors are, or one survivor with a medkit, or whatever it may be, and you can get some easy downs, right? You can be stealthy, you can sneak up. Wraith does a good job of this. Some other killers like Ghostface can use this really well. So stealthier killers can use this really well, but also it's just good information on any killers that are very fast at traversing the map. That's kind of why it's on Nurse. It can be useful on Nurse as well, but other aura reading perks might be better on Nurse. So it's one of those that if you play a certain killer that has some sort of built-in stealth or can get around the map fast, this is a very good perk, top tier perk. Uh, and that's why we're kind of going to put it. It's either in that meta or just off meta spot. So we'll say meta or just off. And this is one we definitely would want to have in our kit if we're playing killer. So that would be a pickup for us. Doesn't really look like a check mark. We'll make it a little bit better. But that would be a perk that we consider picking up with our hard earned iridescent shards. We'll kind of show some builds that we like. This one mainly Wraith we played a lot on and Ghostface. So we'll show those afterwards before we do our summary. But we'll jump into the survivor perks real quick here. So we have an Ash Williams perk, and this one is Flip Flop. And what Flip Flop does is when you're in dying state, you recover faster. No, you don't recover faster. You pair it with perks that recover faster. When you're in dying state, you can convert your recovery into wiggle, and that's helpful for wiggling off, but also for combining with other perks that will show later. So this is a good perk. We're going to put it as kind of a build around perk. Um, it might be meta, but it's definitely one that you have to build around. And we will say Ash has some fun ones uh, with what Buckle Up and Metal Man and cool voice lines. We might consider, if we're spending cash on the game, I know a lot of people don't, we might consider picking up Ash because there are 3 good perks there. But you also can go this route and pick his perks up when they pop up in the shrine. But this is definitely one we want to consider, and we'll show a kind of top tier build that we consider running with this perk. And again, your mileage may vary. It's better if you're playing in a Swift with other people, where you guys can kind of irritate, harass the killer, flashlights, whatever, to give time to recover. You don't need a lot of it, but give enough time to recover so you can wiggle off or slam a pallet on their head. But definitely is a top tier kind of build, or a good build, very good build. So it's either at meta level or just below. And then the last one we have is a relatively new perk, and that is made for this by and from Gabriel Soma. And what this does is you run 2% in the green version, but it's 3% when you get at tier 3. 3% faster, and you gain endurance for 10 seconds after you heal another survivor. And the only caveat is that you can't be exhausted. So you can pair it up with things like Dead Hard. So you have this to just get extra laps around the loop, and then when you actually are going to go down, you use the Dead Hard because now you don't care about this perk deactivating because you just bought yourself even more time. But a lot of times you run it without that, and it's just instead of an exhaustion perk, and it's very strong, very strong. So that's one we would consider picking up as well. Though you could pick up Gabriel and unlock it here, but this is 100% a meta perk. Check plus plus. So got some survivor ones we definitely would pick up, and we'd also definitely consider picking up a Nurse's Calling. And what we're going to do now, real quick, is jump over to a couple builds, and then we'll do a quick summary here. So, if we're talking about survivor builds, we should have some ready to go here. Made for this, real easy. It pairs up very nicely with resilience. I definitely would run these two. Right, you're injured, so now you're running faster, and now you're doing everything else faster. You can go for kind of the end game play with Hope, which gives you the haste 7% at the end. Now you're 10% faster at the end. If you don't feel like you're getting to the end game a lot, you can drop this one. I like to run windows with it, so that way I can just chain together pallets, windows with that extra speed and really string out those chases. But you have another number of different options here. Like I said, some people decide to run Dead Hard just so you have that combo that once they finally do catch you, which took longer, then you hit them with a Dead Hard and extend things a little bit longer. Off the record could be paired up here as well to get some extra endurance. You also could run for the people and buckle up so you can get injured, use your resilience, use your made for this, heal somebody else, and then also have the endurance for the buckle up. Lots of different ways to do it. Those kind of plays, the buckle plays, the for the people plays, I like if I'm playing in a Swift, playing with other people. If I'm just playing solo queue, this seems to be pretty good, right? Got a leg game perk, got a perk to help me find where I'm going when I'm looping, speed up gen, speed up everything else, and then I have this just to move me a little faster. I usually bring a med kit. You can even 99 your heals there, so that way if you can give yourself just a half second before you get caught to heal up, then you take that hit and then you start it all over again. It can work out very well. So definitely a perk that we'd say is a must pick up right now. And then the other perk, who did we have it on? I think we had it on Nick Cage. This is a good example here. But basically, Flip Flop pairs very well with perks like Unbreakable, right? So you can recover faster, and then it pairs up with Power Struggle, so you can drop pallets on the killer. And then Plot Twist is a new one from Nick Cage, which allows you to recover, allows you to put yourself in the dying state, so you can drop down, put yourself in the dying state in order to kind of set up this flip-flop Power Struggle combo. You've got Unbreakable, you've got 2 use the Plot Twist, you can get up 3 times, you can make yourself very hard to hook, and if you get slugged, you just get back up. You can substitute Plot Twist or another one of these perks for something like Tenacity, so you can get to the pallets or get away, recover while moving. A lot of different options there, but it definitely is a strong build as well. And then, if we're talking, we gotta get out of Survivor here. If we're talking Nurse's Calling, like we said, stealth killers can really take advantage of it, or killers that can move around the map very quickly. Our 2 favorite that we're just gonna kind of showcase here are the Wraith. So here we've got Nurse's Calling, We got this discordance for information as well, and we just have a ruin and pop combo that we like, but you can just run two slowdowns here. And then this is the key here: blind warrior, basically uncloak surprise attacks, inflict mangled and hemorrhage. That's your sloppy butcher on a stick as an adult form. Sloppy butcher, a nurse's calling combo is just fantastic. Keeps them injured, makes it take longer to heal. You can interrupt that with your speed and your stealth. So then you either have to just reset the heals or you get freebie downs. Another one we like it on is Ghostface. We're still getting used to these new portraits that aren't that new, but new enough. But here you see the Sloppy Butcher and Nurse's Calling combo, and we got Fearmonger, we got Jolt, some slowdown, and just that combo. You can stealth, and then you can just sneak up on people healing, and you can either 99 them or mark them, so you can one-shot down them, one-shot down whoever's healthy and healing, maybe down the other person that is getting healed, and now you've got just immense pressure there. So these are just some pretty easy builds that you can piece together with these perks. But we'll hop back over to the store and the shrine and do our quick recap here. But yeah, basically our thoughts here are Strider, not really useful. Show of itself was a one-trick pony. That trick's not really necessary anymore. And then we've got some very good survivor perks, and we've got a nice killer perk as well. I'd probably prioritize this one made for this number one. It's probably the one I'd prioritize first. Then I'd probably prioritize Flip Flop, and then probably a Nurse's Calling. But all three of these are very good. But if you are limited on the iridescent shards, uh, if you're a survivor player, maybe grab these. If you are a killer player, maybe you don't want to grab these, but that's kind of the order I consider their importance there. So again, I'm Smig. I'm a variety DVD content creator. I like to do the educational side of things. So hopefully this helps you make a decision. And if you like the content, please hit subscribe. And we hope we see you in the comments. We love suggestions, or maybe we'll catch you in the fog or on our stream sometime. Take care.